The Middle East is a region of great importance both historically and geopolitically. It has been the cradle of ancient civilizations and the birthplace of major world religions. The region's strategic location and vast natural resources, particularly oil, have made it a focal point of international interest and intervention. It is a place of ancient history and diverse cultures, where the past and present coexist in a complex tapestry. From the majestic ruins of Persepolis in Iran to the vibrant cultural festivals in cities like Jerusalem and Cairo, the Middle East is a region rich in heritage and tradition. But it is also a region marked by conflict. For decades, it has been a battleground for various political, religious, and territorial disputes. The scars of war are visible in the devastated landscapes and the lives of the people who have endured endless cycles of violence. Recently, tensions have flared up again, threatening a larger war. The fragile peace that often hangs by a thread has been shattered by new waves of violence and political instability. The international community watches with bated breath as the situation escalates. It all started with a shocking assassination. The news broke like a thunderclap, sending shockwaves through the region and beyond. The assassination was not just a targeted killing, it was a calculated move that has the potential to ignite a broader conflict. Ismail Haniyeh, a prominent Hamas leader, was killed in Tehran. Haniyeh was a key figure in the Palestinian resistance movement, and his death has left a significant void in the leadership of Hamas. His assassination has raised many questions about the security and intelligence capabilities of the region. He was attending the inauguration of Iran's new president. The event was supposed to be a moment of celebration and political transition, but it was overshadowed by this tragic incident. The assassination has cast a dark cloud over the new administration's early days. The attack took place in a secure guest house. This location was considered one of the safest places in Tehran, heavily fortified and guarded. The breach of such a secure facility has raised alarms about the level of infiltration and the capabilities of the attackers. The guest house was supposed to be heavily guarded by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. The IRGC is known for its stringent security measures and elite forces, making the successful execution of this assassination even more shocking and concerning. The assassination sent shockwaves through the region. News outlets across the Middle East and the world have been covering the story extensively, analyzing its implications and speculating on the possible repercussions. Public reactions have been intense, with protests and demonstrations erupting in various cities. It was a brazen attack on Iranian soil. The audacity of the attackers to strike in the heart of Tehran has been seen as a direct challenge to Iran's authority and security apparatus. The incident has exposed vulnerabilities and has led to a nationwide state of alert. It targeted a high-ranking figure in Hamas. Haniyeh's role in Hamas was pivotal, and his loss is a significant blow to the organization. The assassination has not only affected Hamas, but has also strained its relationships with its allies and supporters. Hamas is a Palestinian group that controls the Gaza Strip. The organization has been at the forefront of the Palestinian struggle against Israeli occupation, and its influence extends beyond the borders of Gaza. The assassination has intensified the already volatile situation in the region. Iran has long supported Hamas in its struggle against Israel. This alliance has been a cornerstone of Iran's foreign policy in the Middle East, providing financial, military, and logistical support to Hamas. The assassination has put this relationship under the spotlight, with potential ramifications for regional alliances. The assassination has raised fears of a major conflict. Iran has vowed revenge. The rhetoric from Iranian leaders has been fierce, promising retaliation and justice for Haniyeh's death. This has heightened tensions and increased the likelihood of military confrontations. Israel is preparing for war. The Israeli military has been put on high alert, with forces mobilizing and preparing for potential escalations. The assassination has added fuel to the already simmering tensions between Israel and its adversaries in the region. The situation is extremely volatile. Diplomatic efforts are underway to de-escalate the crisis, but the path to peace is fraught with challenges. Street protests and public outcry have added to the pressure on political leaders to take decisive action. The coming days and weeks will be critical. The world watches as the Middle East stands on the brink of a potential new conflict. The decisions made now will shape the future of the region and have far-reaching consequences for global stability. Iran was quick to blame Israel for the assassination of Haniyeh. Iranian leaders have promised a harsh response. They see the attack as an act of war. They have vowed to retaliate at a time and place of their choosing. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei addressed the nation. He condemned the assassination in the strongest terms. He called it a cowardly act of terrorism. He pledged that those responsible would face severe consequences. Iran's acting foreign minister echoed these sentiments. He said Iran had no choice but to defend itself. He stated that Iran would respond forcefully to this act of aggression. Israel has not officially claimed responsibility for the assassination of Haniyeh. However, the Israeli government has made no secret of its desire to see Hamas weakened. Israel considers Hamas a terrorist organization. In recent days, Israeli officials have issued a series of warnings to Iran. They have threatened a major attack on Iranian military sites. They have also hinted at targeting Iranian oil and nuclear facilities. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the Iranian people directly. He suggested that the Iranian regime's days were numbered. He called on Iranians to rise up against their leaders. The assassination of Haniyeh has also drawn the attention of Hezbollah, a significant player in the Middle Eastern geopolitical landscape. This event has not only stirred local tensions but has also caught the eye of international observers. Hezbollah is a powerful Shiite militia based in Lebanon, known for its military prowess and political influence. Over the years, it has grown from a small faction into a formidable force, capable of influencing regional dynamics. It is closely allied with Iran, which provides it with substantial support. This alliance has allowed Hezbollah to expand its capabilities and maintain a strong presence in Lebanon and beyond. In fact, Iran provides significant military and financial support to Hezbollah, enabling it to sustain its operations and enhance its arsenal. This support includes advanced weaponry and training, making Hezbollah a well-equipped and disciplined force. Hezbollah has vowed to avenge the death of Haniyeh, viewing it as an attack on their cause and their people. This vow has heightened tensions in the region, with many fearing an imminent escalation. The group's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, has promised a strong and effective response. Nasrallah is known for his fiery rhetoric and his ability to mobilize his followers, making his threats particularly concerning. Hezbollah has a history of launching attacks on Israel, often leading to significant conflict. These attacks are part of a broader strategy to assert their influence and challenge their adversaries. It possesses a large arsenal of rockets and missiles, which it has amassed over the years. This arsenal is a key component of its military strategy, allowing it to strike targets with precision and cause substantial damage. The potential for Hezbollah's involvement is a major concern for regional stability. Military analysts warn that any significant action by Hezbollah could lead to a broader conflict, drawing in multiple countries and causing widespread devastation. It could quickly escalate the conflict, turning a localized issue into a full-blown regional war. The stakes are high, and the international community is watching closely. Any attack by Hezbollah on Israel would likely trigger a swift and devastating Israeli response. Israel has made it clear that it will not tolerate any aggression, and its military is prepared to act decisively to protect its interests and its people. As tensions rise, the international community is scrambling to prevent a wider war. Diplomatic efforts are underway to de-escalate the situation. World leaders are engaging in frantic phone calls and emergency meetings. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation held an emergency meeting. The meeting was convened at Iran's request. Leaders from Muslim-majority countries gathered in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. They discussed ways to prevent the situation from spiraling out of control. French President Emmanuel Macron has urged Iran to show restraint. He has called on Iran to avoid any military action that could further escalate the conflict. He has also stressed the need for dialogue and diplomacy. The United States is closely watching the situation. With tensions escalating in the Middle East, American officials are on high alert, monitoring every development from the Pentagon's control room. The stakes are incredibly high, and the U.S. is determined to play a pivotal role in managing the crisis. The U.S. has long been a staunch ally of Israel. This alliance is rooted in decades of shared strategic interests and mutual support. The bond between the two nations is not just political but also deeply cultural and economic, making the U.S.'s involvement in the region almost inevitable. However, the Biden administration is also aware of the dangers of a wider conflict in the Middle East. The president and his advisors are constantly evaluating the risks and potential fallout of any military engagement. They understand that a misstep could lead to a broader regional war, which would have devastating consequences. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has been in contact with leaders from the region. His diplomatic efforts are crucial in these tense times. Blinken's role is to ensure that communication channels remain open and that all parties are heard. He has called for calm and restraint. Blinken's message is clear. Escalation must be avoided at all costs. He emphasizes the importance of dialogue and negotiation over conflict. He has also stressed the need for a diplomatic solution. The U.S. believes that only through diplomacy can a sustainable and peaceful resolution be achieved. This approach requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to compromise. The U.S. is trying to mediate between the parties. American diplomats are working tirelessly to bring conflicting sides to the negotiation table. Their goal is to find common ground and foster an environment where peace talks can flourish. However, the U.S. faces a delicate balancing act. It must navigate the complex web of alliances and enmities in the region. Balancing support for Israel with the need to maintain relationships with other Middle Eastern nations is a challenging task. It must support its ally Israel. This support includes military aid, intelligence sharing, and political backing. The U.S.'s commitment to Israel's security is unwavering, but it must be balanced with broader regional stability. At the same time, it must prevent a war that could have catastrophic consequences for the entire region. The U.S. is acutely aware that a full-scale conflict would not only devastate the Middle East, but also have far-reaching global implications. Therefore, its role is to act as a mediator, a supporter, and a stabilizing force in these turbulent times. The assassination of Ismail Haniyeh has thrown the Middle East into a state of uncertainty. The region is on edge. The threat of a wider conflict looms large. Iran feels that it must respond forcefully to the assassination. Israel is preparing for a possible war. Hezbollah is waiting in the wings, ready to strike. The situation is incredibly volatile. The coming days and weeks will be critical. The world is holding its breath, hoping that diplomacy will prevail. However, the risk of miscalculation is high. A small spark could ignite a major conflagration. The stakes have never been higher.